You are watching William Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to your report. Now we're going to tackle the controversy corner. Sexual assault has been a hot topic for Hollywood for a few months now, and the list keeps on growing with the latest news about Louis C.K. Miss Goodman, one of the victims in the interview with the New York Times, said as soon as they sat down in his room, still wrapped in their winter jackets and hats, Louis C.K. asked if he could take out of his ding-dong. They thought it was a joke and laughed it off, and then he really did it. He proceeded to take all of his clothes off and get completely naked and started masturbating. First of all, this story blows my mind, and I can't believe all the celebrities that people are acting like this, and everything's coming out now.
This is mind-blowing.
Honestly,
this is actually mind-blowing. It's disgusting.
It's the reality, honestly, that you think that these celebrities are just shiny and squeaky clean, and you don't know their personal lives.
Yeah, it's definitely a culture that we really aren't really used to in Hollywood, which is kind of shocking because like some of these actors that were pretty popular. Kevin Spacey's a very popular actor. Everyone likes House of Cards. Everyone likes the other movies that he's done. Louis C.K. had a show on FX, so I think it's just you just wouldn't expect it out of the people that's coming out about.
Especially, and you really wouldn't expect it from Louis C.K. because he's so socially involved in equal rights. I mean,
right. You would typically associate, Louis C.K. with a pioneer in women's rights and a pioneer in, male behavior being not as big as it always is and breaking down this kind of norms that Hollywood's been generating.
Exactly. Hollywood's it's known for being glamorous, for being upheld very highly. You see all these high actors and everything on these award shows, getting awards, great honors. So you don't necessarily, you don't really consider them in the same category as sexual assaultists and all of those. So it's very, very deep.
I know, and the thing that sometimes can make matters worse is how comedians can cover the controversy. Chris Rock said they can cry rape because they want money, and he won't even hire a cleaning lady because he's afraid of false accusations. And he isn't the only one. James Corden made a joke about Harvey Weinstein, and boy, did he get the heat. Comedians feel like they can say whatever they want for a laugh, but what is the limit?
What is the limit?
I mean, I feel like they're pushing it, honestly.
Yeah, and comedians always have this thing of, giving a joke too quick. They want to be the first one to be able to joke about something on their show to make a scene, but I think this should definitely be taking a step back and it should not be joked about at all. They can talk about it, it shouldn't be joked about.
I had a film teacher once that told me a very, very long time ago that in order to have a full understanding of something, you have to be able to laugh at it in a certain way. So, and I'm a little bit different on you guys to where I think that laughing about it, like that kind of brings a certain level of understanding that you really wouldn't expect. And obviously I don't think any of these comedians would, they don't think it's a joke. They joke about it so they can, make the conversation a little bit more comfortable and so we can kind of have it. Because joking about it sometimes is the best way to actually have these kind of conversations.
Pretty good point.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess SNL might feel the same way, Saturday Night Live, because they covered the Harvey Weinstein story. Personally, I don't know how I feel about it, but let's take a look.
This is a tough spot for a comedian because it's so hard to make jokes about sexual assault. But it's so easy to make jokes about a guy that looks like this. I mean, he looks like chewed bubblegum rolled in cat hair. Weinstein told reporters that he was seeking help and added, "We all make mistakes." No, man, a mistake is me walking into the wrong bathroom and using it anyway because I was crowning. But you assaulted dozens of women. That's not a mistake. That's a full season of Law and Order. Your name's a verb now, dude. As in, if this guy tries to Weinstein me, I'm gonna cut off his little Harvey.
They try to stay away from the victims and stay on Harvey Weinstein himself, but why do you think we need these jokes? I mean, people's lives have seriously been injured through the things similar things that they have gone through. I mean, it might be funny for maybe the average person who hasn't gone through things like this, but what do you think it's going through someone who has suffered through events like this?
That's very hard to even answer. It's something where just like SNL, making fun of his nose or whatever. An average person might think, oh, it's funny, whatever. But then someone who really was sexually assaulted could look at that and be like, I really just don't want to see that man's face anywhere
Exactly.
on any television. This is a huge show, and they don't want to see it. So I don't know. I got to think about where I feel.
It's a very personal subject, and there is definitely a respect for that. However, you would imagine, let's take our generation, for example. When you really think about it, a lot of us don't really watch these news stories because we don't watch the news anymore. We may hear about it through, word of mouth or whatever, but sometimes programs like SNL or Stephen Colbert's late night show are like, those are the only ways that people get those news. So, maybe this is like that, it's kind of sad, but sometimes it's like that sick way of covering it. And also kind of making a little bit light of the situation so people kind of have some sense of what's going on. So I wouldn't say that they can't cover it, but I wouldn't say that they don't have sensitivity towards it.
Well, I mean, I guess we can all agree that controversy does bring attention, and I guess comedians are trying to use it in the way that they think just sounds best. But thank you guys for joining me, and that's all we have for you for this week on Rumor Report. To make sure you tune in next week for Thanksgiving special, and to follow us on all social media platforms at Rumor Report WPU. And remember, if you've been sexually assaulted, just find any hotline, talk to anybody. Just don't be afraid to speak out. We'll see you next week.